Well, it's another fine day for at least another 5 minutes until the sun goes behind the cloud again. But as it is sunny and the forecast says no rain, we're going to try and paint this roof. It has to be done, otherwise for the next week all I've got is rain. So I ain't going to get it done then. And I want to try and plug this hole in the roof because it has been leaking. But it was leaking on the waterproof door that I put inside and then dripping onto the inside of the camper. So that was good. Let's have a real quick look. I'm still waiting for the roof to dry off a bit, and then we're going to get stuck into the painting, and I'm going to give you an explanation of what I think went wrong in the last video. In the daylight, this looks a whole lot better than where we left it last time. The colour's more uniform, and it's a really, really nice surface. It's sort of silky, but not silky. I don't know how to describe it. But yeah, because of the difficulties I had last time, I didn't get to complete the roof in any way, shape or form, and I couldn't stay up here all day trying to fix it. I did do a very thick area around where the skylight fan thing's going to go, so that if I really, really had to, I could have just put it in and sealed that bit up at least, but I'm glad I didn't rush and do that, because I'm going to get a good lot of paint on here today, I reckon. So I did get the front done as well, but yeah, this roof needs doing really, really badly. Yeah, so pretty much exactly the same way I did it last time. 100ml of paint in, hardener in, give it a good mix up. Then I think I'll go in with a bit of thinners, regardless, because it's still cold today and I want to get it spraying. So I get a little bit of thinners in there, and then maybe it'll be all right, and if not, I can come back and try again. A little bit more thinner. Stir the paint, stir the paint. Is this good enough for stirring? It's the roof, doesn't matter. There's actually a little room of colour in there. So I did initially think this colour was pretty dark, and the guy that sold it to me and made it up for me said once you put it in this stuff it's going to get a little bit lighter, because the base stuff of that is actually white. So yeah, it takes a bit of the colour out. I remember him saying that after I made the video. After I looked at the paint and went, wow, it's dark. Yeah. So 100ml of this guy. Yeah, so yeah, this stuff absolutely white. So yeah, the paint looked dark, and then I stuck it in here and I got lighter, obviously. So paint going in, and what I think I might do this time is drop a bit of thinner in this paint, slosh it around a bit. I'm going to need the thinner anyway. Not much left, I'm going to have to go get more. And we'll try and get the paint not on my hand. We'll try and get the paint out of here, I guess, is the idea here. Hopefully the thinner before the hardener's okay. And also I need to wash out this cup. All right, hardener going in. Just checking the rain radar before we put the hardener in case it's going to rain on us. No use wasting it. And it looks clear. I've actually had a look at the doors again, and I'm wondering whether I should keep them as they are or do the other idea I had. Keep flip-flopping, I know, but I could probably use part of the other idea on these doors, and I might actually explain it a bit towards the end of this video. and see what advice people are going to give me, because I'm overthinking about it, and I need your help to make a little bit of a decision on what to do with these doors. I think last time when I was spraying it and I was having trouble, the consistency was a bit thicker than tomato sauce. And not the crappy Coles brand. I'm talking about the thick White Crow stuff, you know what I'm talking about? It was thicker. Like mayonnaise almost. Could have been the reason why I wasn't spraying well. That's enough talking, let's get spraying. Well, I just went for it and sprayed a bit of the sides as well, but the roof looks like that, which is a marked improvement. A very, very marked improvement. I put it on pretty thick where I had to, which is pretty much all over it. And I'm not going to really know what it's like until it dries and I can actually get up there and have a look at it. So that's going to take a couple of days. It's actually going to take a couple of hours to get dry enough for me to put the tarp back over it. Yeah, just also hit up the edge of these doors and inside the door handle holes where I forgot to do it last time. Still iffy on these doors. Last time when I was painting and the material got too thick and gluggy, it came out in big spurts like those right there. And I was thinking about trying to knock them down, but I think they're there for good. There's another few down here as well. Thinking over time they'll just wear down naturally. There's a couple of little spots like that. There's a couple of little spots like this as well where it's the paint sort of pulled. Not really run, but it wasn't very dry when it went on. We don't even talk about that one. Well, while I'm waiting for the paint to dry, maybe a post-mortem of all the things that went wrong last time I tried to paint this. And it comes down to three things basically. One of them was I bought a brand new compressor, which I've never used before, like never used a compressor before. I had trouble reading the pressure gauge on it because it's got 15 different types of scales and wasn't 100% sure what I was looking at. But two was the paint gun that I was using. I've never used one of those before, obviously never having used a compressor before. And third was never having used the product before. And I thought I'd just give them all a go at the same time and just see what happened. If you didn't see the last episode and want to work out what I'm talking about now, maybe go back and watch it and then come back to this point. So what had happened basically is the product had been sitting inside in a warm spot with my girlfriend had the heater on during the day. So it was sitting inside being nice and warm. And then I brought it outside and set it right here, as it was. It's a fairly warm day, but it wasn't the warmest. I had the compressor set to 30 psi, which is below the recommended pressure to actually spray the product. So a combination of low pressure and the product being cold, and me not having really any expectations of how this stuff should come out of the gun, I didn't really realise there was anything going wrong until it started coming out less and thicker, and eventually it stopped, as you saw when I got around to this side. And I have a theory about that. I think it's because this gun, the way it works, when the air's forced in and out the front, it causes a vacuum which sucks the paint up, and it just sort of grabs it and sort of flicks it out the gun. I think that's pretty much how it works. But as you know, when you run compressed air across anything, it gets cold. So not only was the product getting colder in the weather, it was also getting colder because I was spraying compressed air across it. So it ended up getting too cold and too low a pressure to actually spray. And when I turned the pressure up, it got a bit better. And then it completely stopped. And it wasn't until I tried to clean the gun out with a bit of thinner that I put some thinner in an old container of the Bodyguard and shook it up a bit, and when I was spraying it, it was coming out colour. I was like painting the ground with it. I'm like, that's more like what I want it to do. So it sort of dawned on me that I could use thinner, because on the sheet that I read, I think you weren't supposed to use any thinner with this type of gun. Thinner was supposed to only be used up to 40% with a regular type automatic spray gun, which I wasn't planning on using. So I didn't really commit it to memory. It was like, okay, paint, hardener, and Bodyguard, and shake it, and it should work. Yeah, I had no consideration for temperature, and that's really what got me. But once I got the combination of pressure and the right viscosity, it worked fine. And then I just went nuts and painted everything, and I turned the camera off before I did that. So the most exciting bit you didn't see. You live and learn, hey? You don't know what you don't know. Anyway, I do have one left and a bit of thinner. And what I am thinking is for the last bottle is to thin it down, put it through a regular type spray gun with a big fan on it, and just like do one last coat around the whole thing, just to make more of an even colour on it more than anything. I think I've got enough product on there, but I think maybe one more layer of that stuff would just be better. Could be wrong. But yeah, there are a couple of spots on pretty much all the panels where if you stand in the right light, looking in the right direction, you can see that it's a bit lighter, a bit thinner. So I think a better coverage might be better. Alright, so the door saga continues, and I have two options, and I'm not sure which one to take, and if you guys could offer some suggestions, that'd be awesome. First of all, the way I've made these doors, I haven't made this ridge really thick enough to be able to support too much waterproofing in there, and also because I never connected the door frame properly, because I never really intended to keep this door if it was going to fail, or this door frame if it was going to fail. I never actually connected it to the plywood either. So there's a gap in there which is going to leak, because this was intentionally going to be the first point of waterproofing. This was supposed to be all covered in canvas. That didn't work either. So I have an idea. The existing door there, I can put a skin on that's going to come just a little bit outside the width of the door, with checker plate aluminium like I'm going to put on the front, but it's going to have that pinch weld rubber seal to go all the way around the door, like a big plate that sits on front of the door. And then that will be like the secondary seal, and I'm going to try and also fill it in here, but it's going to have like a big rubber seal on the outside. With the existing door, it closes in like that, which I've already made. It's already together. I would just need to put a skin on it and put the waterproof seal around it, put it on hinges, done. Or I do the same sort of door, but instead it's going to be gull wing. So hinges at the top, it'll come out like a little bit of a shelter through the top, and then it'll close down and the door handle will be at the bottom. Similar door frame, but I'm going to like redesign it so that it has a slightly thicker seal on the inside, and obviously the overlap on the outside like I just said as well. So it'll be on gas struts, so it'll just open up gull wing style. It'll be a little bit of shelter. It should be just high enough that you won't hit your head on it all the time. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I don't know what you think about those suggestions. Or if you guys have got any other suggestions, like, you know, buy some ready-made doors and fit them in the hole. I think I'm about ready to do that. But other than that, no, I don't know. I'm liking the idea of the gull-wing doors and redesigning the actual inside of the door so that it's more area that I can use for weatherproofing. And I think gull-wing doors would just be cool, so. I don't know, let me know what you think. I'm gonna leave it there. We didn't get much done today, but we got some essential work done. So yeah, as always, thanks for hanging around and see you next time.